Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the final day of Conference 2.3 on building trust and credibility through authentic digital branding for startups. We hope you all had a restful evening and are ready for another day of insightful discussion and valuable learning.
Absolutely, Shravan. We've had an incredible journey exploring the topic. So let's continue our discussion and hope everybody enjoys it.
Now, let's go to a brief overview of our speakers and panelists for today. So, our first speaker for today is Mr. Kiran Kumar, with over 20 years of experience in academics and a background in marketing, HRM, and psychology. Dr. Kiran Kumar is a seasoned professor at Mattu University, Ethiopia. His expertise lies in digital marketing, brand management, consumer psychology, and entrepreneurship. Having worked in both the industry and academia, Dr. Kumar brings a unique perspective to his teaching and research. He has published books and articles on marketing, and his doctoral research focuses on e-commerce and m-commerce strategies for business.
Our next speaker is Ms. Suparna Bhosu, with a remarkable career spanning over 25 years in advertising, strategic brand communication, and copywriting. Ms. Suparna is a highly accomplished professional. She has successfully managed diverse business sectors, including food, retail, healthcare, and more. Her expertise lies in understanding client requirements, strategic planning, and delivering impactful campaigns. As an adjunct professor in marketing, she shares her knowledge in integrated marketing communication, retail marketing, brand management, consumer behavior, and positive psychology with students at CMS Business School.
Next up, we have Ms. Ornello D. Catolda, with a career spanning over 20 years in digital marketing, e-commerce businesses, and digital transformation. Ms. Ornello brings a wealth of experience to a team. As an independent consultant, she helps companies develop the e-commerce businesses and guides CEOs and teams towards success. She has worked in various countries, specializing in different categories and multicultural scenarios. She is also director and professor, imparting her knowledge in digital marketing at education institutions.
Next speaker is Ms. Ruth Vijira. With a passion for guiding individuals in their personal and career pathways, Ms. Ruth has over 22 years of experience in career branding and skills development. Her approach focuses on alternative income and livelihood, harnessing individual potential, interests, and capabilities. With a master's degree in management consultancy, Ruth brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise in empowering individuals to achieve sustainable change.
Next, we have Mr. Arpan Mishra as a highly accomplished digital marketing strategist with over 7 years of experience. Mr. Arpan has made significant contributions as the co-founder and director of Digital Navik Private Limited. His expertise lies in developing comprehensive digital marketing strategies that drives result and exceeds client expectations. Mr. Arpan's innovative thinking and profound understanding of the digital landscape have helped numerous businesses thrive online.
The next speaker is Dr. Deepa Haldar, a distinguished visiting assistant professor in marketing area at the Indian Institute of Management Indore. With a doctorate degree in marketing from Excelrite Jamshedpur, Dr. Haldar's expertise lies in the realm of celebrity brand endorsements and social media. Having pursued her passion for marketing during her graduation and post-graduation at the University of Delhi, Dr. Haldar brings a wealth of knowledge to her field. Prior to her current position, she served as a faculty member at IMT Ghaziabad, where she taught courses in marketing management, business research methods, integrated marketing, communication, and literature review. Her research interest encompass the positive aspects of celebrity endorsements, the utilization of digital media for celebrity brand advertising, and the exploration of consumer responses like skepticism and cynicism. Her contributions have been acknowledged through publications in esteemed journals, including a Journal of Business Research. Additionally, she actively participates in renowned international and national marketing and management conferences and serves as a reviewer for prestigious journals such as IGCS. So let's start this discussion. Before that, we would like to request all the guests and attendees to kindly switch on respective webcams. We'd also like to inform that the HR team is conducting polls in the chat box throughout the session. We encourage active participation from all attendees. Once again, thank you for joining us today, and let's begin the conversation. Mm. Now I'd like to request Mr. Karan to commence his speech. Do we has
Mr.
Mr.
Kiran is
Karan
currently
joined us?
unavailable, Anjali. I believe we can invite the next speaker over the table.
Yes. I would like to invite Ms. Ornella to commence her speech.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to present my screen. Just give me 1 minute. Can you see it?
Not yet.
No?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, so today we are going to talk about building trust and credibility through authentic digital branding for startups, okay? So the idea is for us to have, no matter if we have a small entrepreneur, a small project, or a big company, we need to have a course of action. We need to have a digital strategy because this helps us to define our digital goals in coherence with the marketing plan, not to focus what are we going to post, which channels or which accounts are we going to open on social media, but what's the path, what's our north, in order to understand what we want to achieve afterwards, okay? So if we don't know what we want, we won't be able to measure and to understand and to know whether with what we are doing, it's in the right path or not, okay? So this will help us to understand what to measure and if we are being effective or not with our actions. So this will set us a path to understand which channels we need to be. It's not like a new social media network has opened, we need to be there. No, not to talk about presence, but to understand the mean and the reason to be in that specific channel, okay? So this digital strategy will define our path, will define our course of action. So it's really important for us to understand that. And having this into account, we need to think about our situation analysis as a company, as a project. And this is the SWOT analysis, which is really interesting for us to know who we are and what we want to achieve. Okay, so which one are our strengths and weaknesses, our opportunities and threats. We have internal and external situation we need to analyze. So in terms of weaknesses and strengths, what am I going to do with my digital weaknesses? Which ones are they? So that I can understand whether if I want to make them more relevant for my business, and if I want to try to create solutions for them. Then how can we maintain control of the threats in the digital world? So what are we going to do if I know that I'm not giving a good experience to my customer? Do I need to set some platforms? Do I need to set some processes? Do I need to create some facts so that I can understand what they are asking and to give them better solutions, better answers when they ask some things about my product or my whole experience? Then how am I going to seize my strengths in terms of communication in social media? So if I know that I'm the best at what I do and my customers really rely on that and communicate that to me, I should be taking that into notice when I create my social media plan, because this is going to be interesting for me, because it's interesting for my customer. Do I want to take advantage of the opportunities? How am I going to do that? Okay, so these are important things, not only for big companies, but for small companies or entrepreneurs, because sometimes we get lost in our heads because we think we are the best at what we do and need to set our foot in our customers better at what we do and gain to our competitors. Can you hear me correct? Are we good?
Yes, we are.
Yes? Okay, great. You can interrupt if you have any questions, okay? Yeah. Then we have this 6W model, which is really interesting to understand our value proposition, our target, and where are we going. So the first one is who, are our current and potential customers. I need to understand my target. I cannot direct my business plan and my company to everyone, because I'm going to be losing money and efficiency. And when we start creating something, we are really small and we have small budgets, and we need to make them more efficient every time. So if I know my customer, my target, I'm going to be more effective on my communications. So what are the demographic, the geographic, and the psychological characteristics of my digital consumer? Okay, then what do customers do with my product? What's the need I'm going to think about when I communicate to my target about my product? Let's not think about the product, but let's think about the need I'm satisfying, and this will change everything. Where do customers purchase our products? Where can I find them? When I know who are they, I will be more efficient knowing where to find them. And this has to do with interests, not only geographic or demographic. I need to understand them. Do they have children? Are they single? How am I going to approach them? So this is really interesting for me to be to sell more and to be more efficient with my marketing actions, with my digital actions. When do customers purchase my products? Do promotions have an impact in digital sales? Hopefully not the only one that will differentiate me from my competitors, because I need to have something more relevant for them to choose me, a value proposition. And that's where why enters into action. Number 5, why do customers select my product? Why are they going to choose me and not my competitor? Okay, what's the really interesting thing that will satisfy their needs and that I'm giving them, and then nobody else is giving them in my category? Okay, and why not? Why do potential customers not purchase our products? Which customer needs aren't met yet? Do we have problems with price, distribution, gateway, pre-sales attendance, promotions? Because these are weaknesses and these are potential threats. And if I'm not attending to those matters, competitors will surely do. So I need to be aware of this and to be really paying attention to this, because if I don't get better at those specific matters, probably somebody else is going to. Okay. And then I'm going to create my brand strategy. After I know who I am and where am I heading and who is my target and how am I going to make them choose me, I need to create my brand. So where am I going to be positioned? Am I doing an excellent work in all touch points? Because no matter the amount of channels I have for my target, for my customer, I'm the only brand, no matter the channels I have. So I need to be coherent. I need to have an integrated strategy so that I'm really one in a whole for them. Okay, so I cannot be saying something different or doing something different in the different channels that I have. No matter if I am the one creating the content or I'm hiring somebody to do it, it needs to be a coherent strategy. Am I considering the whole life cycle experience for them to keep on being my clients? So not to focus only on the pre-sale part of the strategy, but also what happens after they buy my product and they use my product or service. Okay. Am I only trying to sell more and more online, focused on my mere brand image? Because I need to be relevant throughout time and they need to really trust on me so that they can keep on buying to me. It's more efficient to have happy customers than to keep on looking for new customers all over the time, all over the place, okay? So my brand needs to have a purpose. how to create value. It's not only to be innovative or to be trendy or to have a website and social presence. It's not only to be customer-centric and to have a value competitor proposal and to deliver a successful experience, although it's, of course, really, really important. It's not only to be relevant and to know my customer and to be creative and generate really interactive content. It's not only to have a powerful, motivated team or agencies that understand the digital world. It's not only to have a strategy and a goal and a plan to know how to execute it, but it's about all that and probably something more related specifically with my target, with my brand, and with my category and competitives. Okay, so it's quite difficult, but it's really doable if I start creating this, and I need to write it down because it's important that I understand who I am, who is my target, and where am I heading, okay? And then how am I going to implement this in my digital channels? I need to think about my ideas and my concepts, the one that I have for my project, for my company, and how am I going to take that into action? Because sometimes theory sounds great, and when I want to take that into the real world, it's quite different. And this gets noticed with the target. I can tell if a social media account is heading nowhere and it has no strategy and north. And if you do this exercise with different accounts you follow, you will probably know and understand the same thing. When you have a north and you have your goal clear, it's more easy to take things in a creative way that resounds okay to our customers. So the last part of this plan is to create the content. And I usually receive companies that need help with their digital strategy, and they really approach to me with this specific. Am I doing great stories and posts? How can I do them better? It's not about the message itself. It's about creating the whole story, as we said just now. It's understanding what's my value proposition, who am I, who's my target, what am I heading, and then to create the message, having all of those things into account. So which is the right message for me to reach out my target and reach my marketing goals? It's not about selling. Of course, I need to create content that it's relevant for them, but that it's also going to achieve my marketing goals. So this is really the most difficult part, to create an organic communication relevant for the consumer, but that also has to do with my company and to sell my product. And then the important thing of this content marketing matrix is that I really understand what I'm going to achieve with that specific post or with that creativity, and to be able to plan it throughout the time, because this will give me a premeditated situation to see if what I'm doing, if what I'm posting, it's achieving my marketing goals or not, and to be able to recalculate the planification that I've made throughout the time. Okay, so this is it for today. Do you have any doubts or questions or comments?
Onala, I just had two questions over here. The first is, since email marketing is believed to be a traditional form of marketing, how does it impact digital branding? Onala.
Email marketing is one of the digital strategies that you can use, such as SEO, SEM, or social media strategies. Email marketing is quite relevant because you will have your own database, and it's probably going to be more effective than fans or people that probably don't know you, just followed you because you gave them some specific and relevant situation. But in general, email marketing is more relevant. They are clients or people that gave you their emails and are really interested in getting into touch with you. So these are one of the most effective digital strategies to use if you use them correctly, of course. Okay.
Yeah, obviously. Moving further, I would like to invite the audience to put forth the questions if you have any. Any questions out here for Ornella? You may just unmute yourself and speak.
No, I don't have any questions.
Yeah. Mr. Sandeepan Agnihotri has a question here, Ornella. If you can just go to the chat box.
Every organization does digital branding of their products to build trust and credibility. So what is something unique we can do to build more trust, and what are the key points we need to keep in mind while doing it? Well, it's an interesting question and quite difficult to answer in a general matter. It really has to do with your business, your target, and to listen and to understand your audience, your customer. It's not about doing the same for every company and for every product. Each company, it's their own world. But the important thing is not to keep your mind with your company and your products, but with your customer and their needs. And how are you going to give them relevant information and a relevant integrated experience that it's going to be satisfying their lives? How are you going to create value for them? It's not like I sell great t-shirts and I know that I'm the best at what I do, because that's a hollow message. That's not a strategy, and that's not knowing you at all. You need to know yourself, but having into account the market and the competitors and the target you are in. Okay. If you are truth to what you are, this will create trust. On the other hand.
Sure. Any other questions further? You can just unmute yourself and speak if you have any. No questions out here? Sure. Thank you, Ornella, for your amazing and insightful speech. We are grateful for the valuable insights you have shared with us today. Do kindly share your email ID in the chat box so that if anyone in our audience has any questions or needs further clarification, they can reach out to you via email. Now, I would like to invite our next speaker, Professor Suparna Bhoshal, to commence her speech and share her insights with us. Welcome, sir.
Good evening and welcome. Are you able to see me? Okay. Thank you so much for inviting me out here, and I have been listening to all the speakers, and I think more or less all of us have captured many salient points of this wonderful topic, building trust and credibility through digital branding, particularly for startups. As I belong to India, and that too, I'm from the city of Bangalore, a city where startups breed. I would put the word. They just don't begin, they just breed, right? So here is the story. I would like to use a couple of case studies to talk to you rather than going through a very PPT-oriented stuff, which I do in the class. I don't want to do that. Anybody can stop me anywhere. Just raise your hand and I would like to answer your questions. Okay. First of all, let us understand what a startup is. A startup is somebody's dream, a founder's dream, right? A team of people come together, they become the founder members, their dream. The power of their dream and their willingness to sustain in the market makes the product successful. There will be dumps. You will lose your game sometimes, but your resilience to come back to it is your willingness. Point number one, startups. What is the difference between a startup and entrepreneurship or a business venture? A startup guy has an idea, but there is no money. Honey, there is no money. I only have an idea. Now, how will this idea grow into a venture and then into a business? Then I need an absolute tech platform to support it. And secondly, my idea should have found a gap in the entire customer journey that a customer takes. Third, and the most important, is the scalability of your idea. Your idea cannot stay in the city of Bangalore. It has to move to Karnataka. It has to move to south of India, the 4 states. Then it has to move to the whole country, and if possible, beyond that. But yes, that is what makes a startup in basic understanding. I am not getting into a tech jargon because then it becomes, a tech-oriented session. I understand this is for students, तो students के लिए और आपके ख्वाब के लिए, ठीक है? ये है कि ख्वाब देखिए, ठीक है? Right? But then understand, lay out a process for yourself, and then begin the process. Never try to be a Me Too product. Me Too product, if you want to be, you need to have lots and lots and lots of money. Example is Meesho, right? Meesho came in at a time when already textile-oriented, apparel-oriented platforms are present. But this gentleman came from Flipkart, so he knew the entire tech of how to run this place if he wants to start one, and he had enough self-funding as well as venture funding, right? So if you want to start small, it's good. Let's start small, but let's think through the project. Point number 1. Point number 2, digital marketing, digital branding, and social marketing. What is the difference? There is a big, big, big difference, right? Social marketing is in between the friends. हम दोस्तों के संग बात कर रहे हैं, Instagram पे रील चढ़ा दे रहे हैं, right? I'm putting it on Facebook, Snapchat. ये हो गया social marketing. Digital marketing क्या हुआ? Digital marketing हुआ कि you have an absolute website, right? And that website has got all your products into that. And your SEO, what is that? The words that you are going to use in your social media to promote your products must be present in your product description on your website. Otherwise, it doesn't work. SEO doesn't work. You just pay through for every Google word that you are betting in the morning, right? So understand content management. सोशल मीडिया पे दोस्तीगिरी, लेकिन उसके थ्रू D2C मार्केटिंग, डायरेक्ट टू कस्टमर मार्केटिंग मस्त हो रहा है. कान की बाली, फूड, बेकरी, पेंटिंग्स, राइट? Tattoos, wonderful businesses are growing out of young minds. But the same thing, if you want to come a level higher, like a Flipkart, right? Like an Aether, like ID Foods, they are a different genre. They are scalable, and they want to scale up fast, right? In that case, your SEO understanding has to be perfect so that you can build website, digital marketing, and then social media marketing. There are many tools. Just now, our speaker spoke about email marketing and innumerable amount of tools. Just put a click, Google पे आपको tools बता देगा कैसे करना है. लेकिन समझदारी होने की जरूरत है कि SEO मेरा वर्ड कॉमन होना है, ताकि लोग जब मुझे ढूंढे, मुझे फट से ऊपर के 5-10 में कम से कम मेरा ब्रांड का नाम आना चाहिए. My name should pop up in the first 10, and that will happen if you have a beautiful hygienic way of doing content management. That's another point. Then I wanted to come to, how do you decide what do you want to sell through your startup, right? You want to do a startup. There are a lot of ideas. The youth is today bubbling with ideas. I'm a professor, I teach, and just tell them, एक idea निकालो, सट, 10 idea निकल गए, you know. I am amazed by the power of the youth, their thinking power. Absolutely amazed, right? But to take care of that amazement, we first need to find कि मेरा product need को संभालेगा, need of the customer. Is it an appetite for need or is it an appetite for want? Right? You need to find out if you want to launch your product, any product. Simple, कान के बाली. क्या ये need होगा या want होगा? Because on this parameter stands your entire branding exercise. How do you look at your product? Brand is what? Hawa mein. It's an image in your mind, right? It does not have any three-dimensional entity. It's a feeling, it's a passion, it's an understanding. But what lies beneath that is your product offering, right? So your product is meant to satiate the need of the customer or the want of the customer. Want हो गया थोड़ा सा ज्यादा पैसा वाला, need हो गया काम चाहिए, अब भी चाहिए, चलो करते हैं. That is need, जिसके बगैर होगा नहीं. For example, अपने लिए Indian kitchen खाना, right, is an absolute. Pizza is a want. Kheer on त्योहार is a need, correct? Baskin Robinsons is a want. ये है difference, need or want में. It's a very small difference, but that hairline difference is where your branding strategy has to be created, dear ones. So please understand, when you are sitting and thinking, अच्छा मुझे जूते बेचने हैं, ठीक है, जूते कौन से जूते बेचने हैं? Which kind of shoes do you want to sell? Which customer are you going to speak to? Just now, I think Ornelia spoke about, segmentation, understanding the demographics. Absolutely. Where do you want to sell your products? To whom do you want to sell your product? Is it the 15-year-old that you want to sell your product? Or is it the 45-year-old auntie that you want to sell the product? Is it the office goer that you want to sell the product? Bhai, must shoes. Okay? Or you want to talk to that guy who is pumping himself in the gym. कि भाई ये जिम के शूज है, करेक्ट? अंडरस्टैंड, think through it. किसके लिए चाहिए? Accordingly, you will have to start looking into your product design, your product packaging, your product resources, your raw sources, your sourcing, your logistics, and your tech platform. Biggest thing, the tech platform. All of us for the past 3 days are speaking, the customer's attention span is just like goldfish ka memory, 3 seconds. मैंने क्लिक किया, कुछ नहीं हुआ, निकलो बाहर. I click the next click, right? So 3 seconds is the span of a goldfish. I come from the advertising world. I spent almost 27 years heading some major agencies in India. Hundreds of crores of rupees are targeted for those 3 seconds, dear friends. 3 seconds. Hundreds of crores of rupees of advertising in the media and the print and the TV and the social media is being spent, let us say, by a Cadbury, by a Sunfeast, by any big person, ICICI, 3 seconds of our attention span. Can you imagine the risk and the statistical understanding that we need to take before you offload those crores of rupees in the open market? This is where the startup world has got an advantage. You are working through a digital medium, control medium. 10 तरीके के filters है, लगाओ filter कि मेरे को चाहिए कॉलेज के बच्चे, मेरे को चाहिए those who are studying only engineering, मेरे को चाहिए कि 10 किलोमीटर की पेरिफेरी में मिलेगा मेरे को customer. Please put your filters. As you start putting your filters in any of the social media, you are actually controlling your target audience, which you have already identified. And that's how you start doing your pilot studies. Your pilots start working, you are kicked up, right? Then you start venturing. अच्छा चलो 1 किलोमीटर और बढ़ाते हैं, survey लेते हैं. How is the product experience all about? Yesterday, one gentleman was speaking about user experience. I will not get into jargon. I would like to rather simplify what is user experience. For example, today I am here on Google Meet, right? What is my user experience? Couple of clicks, and I'm talking to all of you. user experience. But if I want to go to Skype today, मेरा experience, अरे इसके बाद क्या, इसके बाद क्या, इसके बाद क्या, मेरा user experience becomes zero. I have a Zoom login which can go on more than 40 minutes, which is an official Zoom login. I have bought it. My user experience is fabulous. I can keep on talking to the group as much as I want, right? So look into how you are going to create comfort for that, for the customer. Let me give you a couple of startup examples. And because it is for students, sir, allow me a couple of extra minutes, if you may allow me. One of two examples particularly, Zerodha. How many of us have heard about this app, Zerodha? Can I have some thumbs up? Young ones, students? Yes. Yeah, somebody has raised a hand, I'm sorry, from the team. Okay, right. Zerodha was, all of us know about Nitin Kamath and Nikhil Kamath. Sandeep Rai, may I listen to you? You have raised your hand.
Yeah,
Please.
yeah. Nitin Kamath is founder and CEO of Zerodha. It's a broking company and also trading company.
Right.
And also Nitin Kamath को अभी एक प्राइज मिला था बेस्ट एंटरप्रेन्योर ऑफ द ईयर इकोनॉमिक्स टाइम्स द्वारा.
Correct. लेकिन नितिन कामत के origins क्या है? Does anybody know what is the origin of Nitin Kamath? आज नितिन कामत को हम सब जानते हैं. What is his
origin का
origin?
मुझे क्लियर नहीं है.
Sorry?
ओरिजिन का क्लियर नहीं है मुझे. कर्नाटका के हैं वो.
हाँ जी, कर्नाटका के हैं. शिमोगा करके छोटा सा गांव का लड़का है, एकदम छोटे से गांव. हमारा पावर, इंडिया का पावर गांव में, शहरों में, हर जगह फैला हुआ है. There is no demarcation that the village doesn't have anything. This gentleman is from a small place called Shimoga, जहां पर world famous joke falls है. Okay. Now this gentleman at the age of 17 started trading. 17. Many of our students would be around that age or would have crossed that age, right? At 17, he started looking into the trade of his father. At 20, he joined as a trader, simple trader, to help somebody else. At 23, he became a sub-broker. And then he joined a company which was a franchisee of a Reliance-based company. But there he worked for 10 years. After working for 10 years, he said, it's time to democratize money. Stock market should be democratized. Everybody should be able to earn money. So what I'm trying to tell here is 17 साल का बच्चा सोच रहा है. A 17-year-old is thinking. That's the power. And he worked his way through and realized, यार टेक्नोलॉजी है दुनिया में, मार्केट पड़ी हुई है, इंडिया की मार्केट बढ़ रही है और ये सिर्फ कुछ लोगों के हाथ में है. बुल बुल बुल. बाकी पब्लिक क्यों नहीं? और बाकी पब्लिक क्यों पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजर के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है? उनके हाथ में पावर दो. And that's how the thought germinated and it went ahead. Nitin and Nikhil, they run two wonderful asset management company. Nitin, of course, is into Zerodha, which is the retail market, and the Nikhil is into Uber HNIs, right? So you have to have 1 crore liquid cash in your bank, then only you can apply to them. Simple. लेकिन दोनों भाई 2 साल के आगे पीछे हैं. And how beautifully they have thought about कि retail मैं संभालता हूं, तुम ये संभालो, right? 17 साल के बच्चे. Zepto, all of us know Zepto, right? 10-minute delivery, Zepto. Zepto was started by Adit, 17-year-old boy who left his school and college to tell, during pandemic, लोगों के घर खाना नहीं पहुंच रहा, कुछ करते हैं अपन, चलो गोली मारो 10th और 12th को. 17-year-old Adit, right? To think about the kahaniya. Every brand needs a story. Every brand needs its genesis to be known in the market. Every brand needs to have a face in the market. Then Aam Janta will start believing them. They have to come out openly in the market and talk about their failures. Until unless they tell their failures, nobody is going to believe that you are the God and you're perfect. हो ही नहीं सकता दुनिया में. Impossible, right? Steve Jobs was a failure in life. He was kicked out of his own company, which he started. And he was not an engineer. He was not a technocrat. But he understood that I need to do something. The world is going fast. How do I encapture this fastness into a machine? This is what, if anybody has seen the film Jobs or have read the book Jobs, you will understand it, right? Steve Jobs is a case study in my class. One last case study I want to talk about is, I do not know whether it is available in the central India, is the brand ID Fresh Foods. ID Fresh Foods in south of India was started by Mustafa PC. Mustafa PC, Coolie ka beta. Coolie, you understand Coolie, daily wager. His son, at the age of 10, when he was in standard 5, he had to drop out of his school to help his father so that everybody could have at least 1 square meal a day. From there, the boy toiled to get into IIMs. And from IIMs, he got a wonderful job, but he could not forget his origins. He said, this origin that I have come out of, there are many, many still there. And then he said, can I bring in something which is absolutely common? Diya tale andhera, kisi ko pata hi nahi chal raha hai. ठीक है? Idli batter in south of India is everyday morning breakfast. He brought in a disruptive technology. It took him nearly 4 to 5 years to standardize that batter so that it stays on the shelf without souring. Because if it sours, nobody will eat it, right? Food technology. And today, it is a 2,000 crore business. Mustafa never gave up. He lost, and finally he cracked it. And today, I think even the traditionalist of the lady who, South Indian lady who goes to the office, does not make batter at home, will pick up an ID, right? And you have lovely dosas and idlis at home. From dosas and idlis, he conquered North India with parathas, aloo parathas, methi parathas and whatnot. And today he's gone into Dubai. Look at the way how he has moved on. The boy who gave up studies, son of a laborer, and he found that gap in the customer journey. Today, every woman wants to work because we are studying for our own economic independence. What is the biggest crunching factor in our life? Time. Time doesn't wait. How do I make her life a little more convenient? And he found that small little gap of idli dosa batter, dear friends. And look at the way the market has opened up for this idli dosa batter. Or for, I'm coming from office, I'm driving down, Arey, ghar pe to kadi patta nahi hai, aloo nahi hai, Zepto karo. By the time you reach, your bag is lying in your door. So for a startup, you need to find that small gap that you will fill in and understand content management through 2 different parameters. One is digital marketing, another is social marketing. Be very careful. Give out consistent branding. If you have decided on a color, stick to that color. If you have decided on a particular type of font, stick to that font. If you have decided on a particular voice tone, stick to that voice tone. Please don't keep on changing, right? These are the cardinal rules of communication. Whether it is digital or traditional, doesn't make any difference. Absolute cardinal rules. क्योंकि आज मैंने SK Associates को इस तरीके से लोगो देखा, कल लोगो बदल गया. अच्छा, ये वो वाला SK नहीं है, कोई और SK है, नहीं देखना है मुझे. But I would have missed an opportunity, right? But if you have standardized your logo, you stand by that logo over a period of time, then you enter into the minds of the people. As simple as that. So I think, and to build trust and credibility, there has to be a face. You cannot be a non-entity. You cannot tell tech platform. There is somebody. आज गूगल को हम जानते हैं क्योंकि सुंदर पिचाई सामने आके खड़े हो गए. एप्पल को जानते हैं क्योंकि स्टीव जॉब्स आके खड़े रहे, अब टिम कुक आके खड़े रहे. हम टाटा को क्यों जानते हैं? रतन टाटा जी हैं, राइट? हम आदित्य को क्यों जानते हैं? क्योंकि कुमार मंगल बिरला हमारे सामने आके खड़े रह रहे हैं. They own up. They own up if there is a mistake, but they are always at the back of their employees, right? Pushing them, nudging them, creating strategies, and doing what not. Let me tell you a small example. Maruti was my client once upon a time. Hundreds and crores of rupees of advertising we used to do. But the then general manager, when the advertising agency used to present the campaigns, he would never stop us. He would allow us to speak as much. रात के 2 बज गए, 3 बज गए, no problem, campaign present करो. He would come back at 9 o'clock in the morning. As I used to head the agency, he would come, Suparna, come before we get into the meeting. Aa jao. Chota sa A4 size page, and he has his points written. I would want you to go through this before we start the meeting. That's all. That's all. He had all of us trust him blindly. कि ये हमको लात नहीं मारेगा. Business है भाई, करोड़ों रुपए की, right? So, but he also tells us, hello lady, be careful. These are the pointers which you should not open your mouth. Be careful, right? You are the agency, I am the company, but I am at your back. I will take care of it because the ideas are good of reaching to the consumer on the road. Okay, so as I understand, dear friends, I think I would have consumed my 15 minutes. I have spoken about what is a startup. It's a founder's idea. It's a founder's dream. I have spoken about what is the difference between digital and social media marketing, how you need to take care of your SEOs at a very, very nominal base level, language, content marketing. I have said that please find that gap in the customer journey. Study the customer journey as if though you are studying your partner, right? You should study customer journey mapping is so very important. हम बिलिंग के उधर जाके देख रहे हैं इधर इधर क्या है. अच्छा, चॉकलेट रखा है ले लो, रुमाल रखा है ले लो, डियो रखा है ले लो, रूम फ्रेशनर रखा है ले लो. किसी की भी जरूरत नहीं थी, लेकिन हम ले रहे because the research says the last mile, few minutes when you're waiting for the billing to happen, you are actually very fidgety. Why my billing is not over? Give some space to that fidgetness to come out. Give them products and they'll start buying them. I didn't need that Cadbury bar. I didn't need that sneakers. Neither did I need the Dio. But I picked it up because it is within 1 feet of my hand space. Just pick them up. Can you imagine when Colgate increased the diameter of their tube by 1 mm? 1980s, I'm talking about 1 mm diameter of the tube, the nozzle rather, when you pour. Their profit skyrocketed by 200 crores. 1980s, 200 crores is a big money. 1 mm nozzle ka width बढ़ा दिया, बस और कुछ नहीं. So that is marketing, and that is how you build trust and credibility.
Excuse me, Dr. Ghoshal. Sorry for the interruption. The speech is extremely good, but
yeah,
we are
I'm over. I'm done. Thank you so much. Any questions I can quickly take?
Yeah. Any questions out here? For Professor Ghoshal, you may simply unmute yourself and speak. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
My question is you know about Byju's.
Sorry?
So,
Agit. Huh.
Byju's,
yes.
या तो हुआ क्या था कि कोरोना के टाइम पे इसने छोटे मोटे जो एडटेक कंपनियां थी उनको इन्होंने टेक ओवर करा. तो बाद में अब क्या हुआ है कि इनका खुद का जो बैलेंस शीट है वो साइन नहीं हुआ है 2021-22 का.
यस.
अभी आपको अपनी रिपोर्ट पढ़ा ही होगा कि इनके ऊपर सरकार ने मतलब इंस्ट्रक्शन की मतलब बोल दिया है कि इनकी बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट का जांच हो. तो ऐसा होता क्या है कि जैसे कि जो बड़ी कंपनियां होती हैं छोटी छोटी कंपनियों को टेक ओवर कर लेती है या फिर छोटी कंपनियों के साथ ऐड हो जाती है कि चलो इसके साथ हमारा भी कुछ प्रॉफिट हो जाएगा. तो ऐसे कैसे मतलब समझा जाए कि किस कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए, किस में नहीं करना चाहिए, या किसी के साथ पार्टनरशिप करना चाहिए? हालांकि बायजूस तो एक ब्रांड है, बट फिर भी
बायजूस ब्रांड तभी बना जब उन्होंने एक डिसरप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी लेके आए कि क्लास 5 के बच्चों को फोटोसिंथेसिस, ये वेस्ट में बहुत सालों से हो रहा है, हमारे यहाँ था नहीं, ठीक है? तो उन्होंने वो टेक्नोलॉजी लेके आया. बट व्हाट बायजूस डिड, आई वुडंट से रॉन्ग. You know, the big fish always takes the small fish on. They have taken it, but you have also willingly sold your firm. No, आपने भी तो बेचा willingly, आपको भी तो पैसे मिले. उस वक्त का टाइम सोचिए जब आपने बेचा, आपको करोड़ों रुपए मिल गए आपकी एक छोटा सा थॉट प्रोसेस के लिए, ठीक है? अब आज वो अगर नहीं चल रहा है तो हम उसके लिए तो आज बैजू को दोषी नहीं ठहरा सकते सर. बैजू ने कुछ गलत काम किए हैं. They have done it. Their audited results are not perfect. Many companies have done this. Many companies. इतना सारा पैसा suddenly आ जाए तो आदमी पगलाए जाता है, right?
Hello.
Yeah, tell me, sir. I think I have answered, and my time is over. Thank you so much. Wonderful talking to your friends. I hope it helps. I've given my email ID. You can get it. Thank you.
Sure.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Professor Mish. Anjali, I hope you can carry on.
Yes. Thank you, Professor Suparna, for the wonderful speech and sharing expertise with us. Let's quickly move on, and I'd like to invite Ms. Deepa to commence her speech.
Yeah, Dr.
And group for the invitation, the introduction, and being among the speakers. I really appreciate. This is an incredible opportunity for the young entrepreneurs. I'd like to share my screen, if that's all right. Thank you.
Yeah,
all right. It's okay. All right. I'd like to start with a quote from Maya Angelou. She said, you can't use creativity. The more you use, the more you have. My presentation is going to be mostly on brand creativity, while focusing on 5 ways to build trust and credibility through authentic digital branding for the startup. So I'm going to look at 5 areas of that. And the first one being, start with yourself, then your product or your service. Be the brand expert and have authority. Listen more, share ideas, and be present. Get involved in digital community and digital communication. To start off, when you talk of starting with yourself and then your product and your brand, it's good to build a very strong foundation. Be creative and stand out as a brand, and build a persona and a character that truly represents you, your business, and your brand. When you talk about building strong foundation for yourself, here you're talking about what strong skills and abilities do you have that can support your startup. You think about, are you into teaching? Are you into health? Are you into farming? How can you incorporate that in your startup and it helps to support it? The other thing is, will your startup be a personal brand, a business brand, or a combination of both? To help you to figure out this or how you want to do it, do you want to be a freelancer? Do you want to be an influencer? Do you want to be a sole proprietor, a partnership, an NGO, a company, or a corporate? So you can either be the face of your company. It can be both you and your business can be the face of the company, or you can let just the company to be the face of your business, especially if it's a corporation where there are so many shareholders involved. Then in such a case, business, it's best for the business to be the brand. What do you stand for? How can you incorporate what you stand for in your business? Let's say you stand for mental health, you stand for green or blue environment, you stand for child education. How do you let it shine in your startup or in your business? The other thing is, what is your brand personality? Is it going to be a playful one, joyful one? Is it are you looking for comfort? Is it going to be something that saves time and money? Is it self-consciousness or compassion? Is it security and safety? So once you find that out or figure out how you want it to be, then it becomes easy for you to brand your product or service in a way that relates to the people who are interested or who you're targeting. The other thing you're going to look at is being creative. Be creative and stand out as a brand. There are two ways you can come up with a product or a service. One is vertical or intensive authentic brand, where you're creating something that doesn't exist at all. These ones are usually hard to create or to design. An example of this is generative AI. The other one where many people fall in, that is startups, entrepreneurs, and many businesses, it's horizontal or extensive authentic branding. This is you're modifying what already exists and you want to make it better. These ones are usually easy to create or to design. An example could be products that we normally use or we have. Like ruler, for example. It used to be wooden, then plastic, now steel. Now somebody decided to design a ruler with alphabetical with alphabets and numbers, and now we have flexible rulers. The other example is a collapsible water bottle. As a startup, let the audience understand the purpose of your product and or service. It could be one or a combination of your product is convenient, it saves time, it saves money, it saves space, it's user-friendly, it's flexible, it could be portable, do-it-yourself, safe, durable, accessible, and many, many other ways of presenting your product. So imagine a scenario where now you have to, a situation where now you have to build your persona. Now you're building a persona and a character that truly represent yourself. And one day you're introduced to a CEO of a company that you've always wanted to work for. And then the CEO will asks you, what's your profession? What kind of business opportunity are you looking for? What are you going to say? Meaning you should be prepared to know what you want to say. I mean, who you are, what value are you bringing in, and what does your product stand for? Here is an example of how you can introduce yourself. So you can say, my name is so-and-so, and I am ... I help X achieve Y by doing Z. So X is your ideal audience, prospect, company, industry. Y is the value you bring, and Z is how exactly do you provide this value. As an example, here is an introduction by somebody who is a startup. We'll say something like, hello, my name is Adam Peter, and I'm a paralegal. I provide legal assistance to clients who live with disability by drafting important legal documents, plan their cases, and recommend suitable professional attorney. This person has been able to clarify the three most important things: who the ideal customer is, what value the person is bringing, and exactly how this value is being offered. Now we move to the second point, where be the brand expert and have authority. This is where you have to demonstrate your skills and expertise backed with supporting evidence. Supporting evidence could be certificate, your portfolio, it could be samples of your work or projects you've worked on. Excellence helps you to develop strong authority. Commit to continuous learning and gain skills, advance your skills. Try out new ideas, try out mixed concepts. Like if I take this item and put them, combine them together, what can I make something unique, something different? Be an expert or a specialist and develop an identity for your brand, for your startup, for your business. Share experience and testimonials. Boost your brand credibility with genuine testimonials. Use affiliates, join a professional membership if there is one within your startup or your business interest. Do case studies. Share highlights of how your product or service was a solution to a customer problem. When when people read this about your product and service, they will always, or they will be willing to engage or want to know more about what you do and what you offer. The third part is listen more, share ideas, and be present. What are people complaining about? What do you hear the audience complaining about in your area of your startup? And why are they complaining? What kind of solution alternative are they wishing for? Like, I wish I had this, I wish this could do this. Listen to those complaints and also listen to the concern. Can your brand offer solution or alternative to these complaints? If yes, do it. The other thing is share ideas and solutions, even if it's not part of your brand. When you talk about being present and be part of a conversation, even if it's something that is not even in your area of startup or expertise and all that, but you've heard about it or you've read about it and there was a solution to it, share it. Be kind enough to share your thoughts or your ideas. Indirectly, you're kind of creating visibility and trust to you yourself. And if you have your brand ready, people will be willing to get to know more about it. The fourth thing is getting involved in digital community. Join digital community with common interests and contributing to the conversation. Start a new trending topic, talk about opportunities, talk about challenges, volunteer your time and expertise even without asking for anything in return. The great thing about such opportunity is it can lead to an opportunity for you to perfect or to exercise your skills. Offer free trials and get feedback. It's an opportunity to support your community. And also it can lead to business opportunities and testimonials. For example, let's say you volunteer to clean up the city. You don't know who you're meeting in that process. You might meet somebody and you start talking, you get connection, and you talk about what you do. The person talks about what the person do, and keep that conversation going, keep that connection alive. This person one day might end up giving you a lead, can recommend you, can refer you to a business opportunity because they remember you are there for a good cause. You're not there for your business or your brand, but the way you interact with the person, the way you connect with the person, and let the connection not stop there. Keep in touch. One day this person will always remember you and will refer you if anyone is in need of your service or your product. The last part is on digital communication. Make it easy to be seen, to be heard, and to be understood. Be brief and on point. Learn how to use visual communication. Request for feedback and ask for help, support, and introduction. When you talk about making it easier for people to see you, hear you, and to be understood, check and make sure that your business brand name does not mean something else in another language, another country, or culture. For example, the name Kaka. Kaka, it's in New Zealand, it's a parrot. In a different language, it means brother. And in a different culture or another language, it might mean something else. So do your research and make sure that your brand name is not something that it means it can confuse the audience. It's like if you call your brand Kaka and you're advertising in New Zealand, for example, and it's completely something else, they'll be confused. They'll think you're talking about the parrots. In a different culture, they think, oh, you're talking about brothers. So check out, and also sometimes some of the names can be something that is offensive or it's a negative name in a different culture, in a different language. The other thing is have clear visual presentation. Have a brief and practical instructions on your product and services where you can. Have a clear how to use with images, because many people, when something is presented in a visual form, it's easy to understand. You can compare physically what you have against what you're trying to put together. Use well-organized image curation. Arrange the way your instructions or your images are in a organized manner. Like number one, then the next instruction you do this, the next thing you do this. So that is how you create your images so that it's easy to follow. Indicate duration, shape, weight, and dimension of your product as much as possible. This is all about making it somebody doesn't have to go too far to try and find out. Again, people don't have enough time to go and find out more about your product if you're not giving them as much information as they need. But again, you need to be brief and on point. Here's an example of somebody, like we know there are these 4-in-1 pen, multicolor pens. Somebody came up with an idea of why can't I do the same thing with the makeup? This product, like the makeup pen, it has everything that you just look at it, read it, and it's brief, it's on point, and you get exactly what this person is selling, what it does, and where do I apply it, and how do I do it. It's practical and logical. It's easy to carry and store. It saves money and space because I don't have to buy 4 items, I just buy one, and I get all the 4 convenient when it comes to makeup. It's convenient. As I said, it provides for usability. It's a great gift product and more. So when you're branding your product or service, make it in a way that people can visually see it. They can read small points about it or brief comments about or brief content about it, and immediately understand what it does, what they do, how they can use it. And also, it's also good to say, what else can you get out of this? Like something like it's a great gift item. It's something that can trigger and say, okay, wow, this is really good. I can use it in future and share it with somebody. The other is visual communication. If you look at this picture and I ask, where do you think the gentleman, the person on the image is facing? It's easy to say, oh, this person is facing in front, or looking at it from a different angle, this person looks like it's facing on the side. Visual communication of your brand gives the audience something to think about, and visualization by default, it becomes a thought in our mind. Audience thought can be very, very powerful and impacts the way they behave, whether they'll trust your product, and the credibility towards your brand. It's important that, however, and whichever way or angle the audience look at your product or service, they are able to understand, interpret as intended by you as the business owner or the entrepreneur or the startup without creating any confusion. I'm going to share with you examples of an advertisement that created a lot of confusion for an energy drink. So it's the same product, same advertisement, but it had different results and different outcome. Station 1, this was a very successful campaign, and the campaign used just visual. From it, they were trying to see from the image, from the visual, can you tell what we are trying to do here, or what does our product stand for? So you can see the person is like lying down, no energy, comes across the energy, drinks it, feels strong, and yay, yippee, I can run, somebody is very active. Then come the next advertisement. Same product, same advertisement, but now this one was a failure. There was no trust, there was no credibility to it because it was misinterpreted and it was misunderstood. Why? Because the thing here is how the person was reading. Some countries or in some regions, people read from left to right, like English and many other languages. We read from left to right. This advertisement was sent to a country or a region where they were reading from right to left. And this is how they interpreted. Oh, I'm full of energy. I'm strong. I drink this energy drink. I feel tired and I fall down. So they misinterpreted this product as something that is not good for them. It's going to take away their energy or it can cause harm to them. So they had to withdraw this product and redo it again. And that's why it's very important how you do your visual presentation. Make sure whoever you're targeting, it takes the right message, it goes the right message, and it's well understood. Lastly, I'm going to, the last point is on request for feedback and ask for help, support, and introduction. Do not be afraid to ask for help on your product or service. There are people out there who are willing to help you, to support you, and to hear you out. request those, like if you join a digital group or a community, ask them for business connection. Let them know exactly what kind of introduction you're looking for or what kind of referral are suitable for you and for your brand, and they'll definitely do it. I'll end with a quote. This is a quote from me, and I say, success in your personal and professional life is directly proportional to your ability to find purpose in a niche. Your greatest asset right now is your life skills. What are you gaining now? What are you involved in? As a word of encouragement, as I finish off, is my encouragement to all those who are in the startup business already, that have started their business. Be bold, remain curious, know what motivates you, keep away from distractions. There's so many distractions out there, and be intentional with your goals. If you're a startup within the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and you need grant funding, write a compelling proposal and send to the relevant funder based on what kind of development goal are you focusing on. There are so many funders ready to support and development goals, and the best way is to reach them out. This is from a lot of experience. I've got calls from people who give funding. They'll ask me, Ruth, do you have anyone who is looking for funding? Because they have money, they have objectives. They want to fund 10 projects and maybe they've been able to fund only 7 and they need 3 more. So they ask me, do you know anyone who needs funding? Please let us know, refer them to us. Meaning there's money out there, there are people willing to help you, but they can only help you if you reach out to them, find them and reach out to them. Thank you so much, and all the very best to the young entrepreneurs. If there's any question, let me know, and thank you. This is a great opportunity. And thanks to all the other amazing, amazing speakers as well.
That was a great speech. I'm quite amazed by it. Furthermore, I would like to invite all interested attendees to forward the question. Yeah, we have a question. Yeah, you may unmute yourself and speak, Mr. Rajkumar.
यस सर, ये क्या है सर? मैं आज पहले बार जुड़ा हूं सर, तो आप सुनना चाहता था.
They are present in an international conference on digital branding, Mr. Rajkumar. Okay,
Yes,
so further moving on, I would like to thank Ms. Richard Woods for her amazing speech, and I would also like to request you to share your email ID in the chat box for any questions our attendees might have. I hope I'm clear, Anjali.
Yes, sir, I am clear.
Yes, you're clear. Your voice is echoing a little, but that's fine. You're clear.
Take over.
Yes, sure.
You don't
Thank you,
understand
Mr.
what is this meeting?
Yeah, you may continue, Anjali.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Ruth, for the wonderful speech and sharing experiences with us. Do we have any questions from anyone? Please do raise your hand, or you can put it in the chat box. Okay, it seems that we do not have any questions. Okay, no issues. Please do share your email address in the chat box, Mr. Ruth, so that if any of our attendees would like to connect with you, they can directly reach out to you. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Deepa to commence her speech.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you so much. So a very warm good evening to everyone, and a big congrats and thank you to SK Associates and Group, especially the face of the organization, Anjali and Shravan, right? Thank you for organizing this. Thank you for inviting me so that I could hear to such great speakers. And I can definitely say that along you guys, I'm also learning. So it's a great experience for me as well. I think Anjali had already introduced all of us. So I won't waste time with that. So I'll quickly share my screen. and begin as to what I have to say. Just give me a second. Okay, so is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, so and today we are almost at the final leg of the annual conference of SK Associates and Group with a wonderful topic on building trust and credibility through authentic digital branding for startups. Before I begin saying what I have to say exactly, to be honest, I'm a little bit speechless also because already the speakers have spoken a lot and I'm just trying to see where I can fill the void. So before I begin, there are a few statistics for you guys, which I have borrowed from online sources, of course. Just to give you a hint, just to give you in numbers as to where we are standing when it comes to digital branding, when it comes to digitalization. I know we have been talking about it since the past 3 days, that how important it is to brand yourself on the digital platforms. But just क्योंकि numbers ज़्यादा समझ में आते हैं, numbers ज़्यादा hit करते हैं, right? So therefore, to do that, statistics have proven that now almost 70% of buyers use digital resource at the beginning of any search. We also have built this habit, na kuch bhi hota hai, we are like Google kar le yaar, or we have Indianized the term of Google and we say Google lo, right? So with 70% of your target market searching everything online, that is the first step towards understanding how important digitalization or how important your digital presence has become. And because of this, what is happening is that there has been a surge by 65% in online search for service providers. Now we are not in our parents' generation wherein we ask our neighbors to get help in business. But as I said, hum Googla lete hain. We just go on Google and find it out. And now, of course, we have so many different digital media apps as well. And therefore, not only searching for anything, but identifying a service provider is also so much easier and so much prevalent on digital platforms. And not just identifying service providers. We also give feedbacks. We also give comments. We also evaluate these service providers, and the percentage has gone up to 72%. That 72% of the buyers use digital media and platforms to voice out their opinions, positive, negative, good, bad, ugly, wonderful, all those words, because it's quite easy, right? Just to type and post. So given this situation in which we are, and this percentage has especially increased post-pandemic because there has been a huge surge in digitalization. Now, given this, we as budding entrepreneurs, or we as students of entrepreneurship, we have to understand, where do we stand? How do I maximize this platform? How do I take the maximum leeway out of it and then put it to the best use of my brand and or of my company? Somebody is unmuted. I would request them to please mute themselves. Thank you so much. Yeah. So given these statistics, where do we stand? How can we also become the next big thing in the country, in the continent, in the region in which we are operating? Just like some of these brands have done. Professor Ghoshal was also mentioning about these brands. And I'm sure we, the major audience today that we have, I'm sure you guys have heard about these brands of Paperboat, Meesho, Grow, Dream11, Nykaa, right? And there are zillions of many other brands which are operating. Now I would like to throw your focus on something different. हमें ये तो पता है लेकिन क्या हम इन ब्रांड्स के बारे में जानते हैं? Do we know brands like Lido, Shopex, Babyberry, Roder, Student Delivery? A silence. A silence because the brands in the left-hand side, they are not that known. Because even though they also had a story and they started with something miraculous, they wanted to do something miraculous, but somewhere they could not reach that mark. रह गए अंधेरे में. So, what exactly do you think could be the reason that while we know Meesho, Nykaa, Dream 11, we are not exactly aware of Lido, Roder, or Babyberry? And let me tell you, they are primarily Indian brands. They are Indian startup companies, the successful ones and the not so successful ones. So I would invite from the audience, what do you think could have been the possible reason that there is a gap or difference between these two types of brands? Anyone can speak up, please.
See, these brands, Deepa, have, they have somehow been with the founders only. They have not been able to communicate to the world outside, right? So you need to, I know it costs as we define, where give and take of money happens. You need to spend your bucks on communicating. What am I? What am I bringing to you?
Absolutely
And
right, ma'am.
consistent pattern of communicating, right? And I think none of them have done this.
I'll hold your thought and I'll come back to it by the end of my presentation for sure. Anyone else? Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? All right. That's okay. So we have one cue that there is some lack of communication. Now, of course, that is there, and I'll reach to that point. But before that, there is one more thing which is missing. The core issue is that the left-hand side brands were not able to establish themselves as a trusted and credible brands. Some brands, Lido had logistics issue. Student Delivery had some logistics issue, ironically. Babyberry had some material issue. Shopex had some financial issues. Now, when a company shows issues, at the core of it, what I understand and what I believe is that they are not able to establish themselves as a credible company in terms of finance, in terms of HR, in terms of marketing, in terms of communication, etc., etc. But at the core of it, what lies is that because you are not able to build that credibility and trust and connect with the audience, that is where you lack. And that is why, even though they might, they may have become the next Amazon, they may have become the next Tesla, but they are not. And as ma'am rightly suggested, one of the ways of achieving credibility of your brand is brand communication. And that is where I come into the picture. I contribute a little bit to this area since my teaching and research interest is brand communication and advertising. So therefore, why exactly do we need this digital brand communication? Of course, the first point being, we do not want to be counted as a failure company. We want our dreams to succeed, definitely, for sure. But theoretically speaking, why do we need a digital brand communication? As we were discussing a little bit while ago as well, is that when you are communicating on digital platforms, Google, advertisements, SEO, social media, content marketing, what we are doing is we are able to narrow down our target audience and reach them effectively and efficiently both. ढंग से भी करना है, effectively and efficiently भी करना है in a cost-friendly manner. Digital platforms is a very, very easy way nowadays to generate, identify, and follow our hot and warm leads, and also to identify cold leads and not to go after them. Digital media, which today we all are sitting from our homes across different countries. Someone is from Argentina, somebody is from Bangalore. I am sitting from Indore. We all are connected very easily on digital media, on digital platform of Google Meet, right? See the power of it. Miles away, but we are here merely based on a click. So digital, the visibility that you need. Visibility hogi, तो लोगों को awareness होगा, and then at the end when they are there in the market to buy a product or gain a service, they will be able to recall. Because as I always tell my students as well, in communication, जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. This increased brand visibility, awareness, and recall, and your own homework in the hindsight of lead identification and generation will increase the probability of the conversion of a prospective customer to an actual customer. And lastly, of course, through digital platforms, you are not only able to plan things, organize, and implement, but also do an effective evaluation and tracking. Real time, dynamic. It's not 10, 20 years back when researchers used to wait to do research and find out answer. Now we have artificial intelligence. We all know what all wonders AI is doing. Through that tool, we can assess our performance. We can assess how much are we actually achieving our objectives and goals online, on real time basis. हमें wait करने की जरूरत नहीं है कि data इकट्ठा होगा फिर हम analyze करेंगे. No, it's happening right now, right there. Carpe diem. It is there. Making the world too dynamic, it might become a bit scary as well. But if you tap on it in the right way, you can have the key to the locked door. Having said that, बोलना बहुत आसान है. You will have the key to the locked door. बोलना आसान है कि मैनेज हो जाएगा, communicate कर लेंगे, but करें कैसे? How exactly to tap this digital market? How to communicate yourself on digital platforms? And that is where my last segment comes into the picture, is how do you communicate on digital platforms about brand, and mind you, about your own self as well. You are the hero. You are the one who has the idea. As Professor Ghoshal was also saying, by giving such wonderful examples and cases, that we all have stories. Every one of us, especially you guys who have such brilliant thoughts and ideas of startups in your mind. So how can you put yourself out in the open? For that, I have a couple of ideas, but disclaimer, this is not these ideas that I will be sharing, it's not something which is written or it's foolproof or guaranteed. It's just something that I have in my mind, something that I've shared with my other colleagues, and it's just me sharing my thoughts with your thoughts. And if you find it useful, that will be great. So first and foremost thing which I always recommend is that don't shy away from marketing. जैसे India में, at least I can say this in India, that politics term has taken a very negative connotation over a period of time. जबकि ऐसा है नहीं. Similarly, marketing has also been painted in negative terms, but ऐसा है नहीं. Right? So first and foremost thing I'll always suggest you guys is that don't shy away from marketing. Don't be scared of it. Don't be intimidated by it. कि अरे यार ये नहीं होगा. Don't do that. It's your idea. It's your startup thought. Just give it a bit tadka of marketing and you will do wonders. So how exactly to do that? Second thing that you can do is add your own unique voice and words to your idea. When you are planning, of course, we do a lot of writing, we do a lot of brainstorming, we do multiple meetings. But because we are averse to marketing and marketing activities, therefore we do not put our voice out in front of the audience. हमारी audience को पता ही नहीं है हम क्या है, क्योंकि हम उनसे बात करते ही नहीं है. So I suggest that talk to your people and what other way to do it than digital media? Specifically, I'm talking about social media. That is where I do my research as well. Social media se bhagiye mat. If we can use Instagram and Facebook for our own personal use, why not to tap this market for our own brand and ideas? And not just when our brand is well established, but when we are starting from the scratch. Create blogs, create podcasts, create vlogs. Put it out in the open. Talk to your audience. Identify your audience. The more you talk to them, the more you will be connecting to them. And it's not just what I'm saying. There's actually research being done on this specifically as to how entrepreneurs can actually connect with your audience through these social media platforms, because these platforms give you a raw a podium where you can openly speak to your market about your thoughts, about your ideas. Because the point is, you are not going out of sight. Because you want to stay relevant in the minds of the consumers. You want to stay relevant in their thoughts. You want कि अगली बार जब वो चाहें that उन्हें चश्मे खरीदने, they know where they have to go. Next time when they are thinking of planning a bar of chocolate, they know which brand they have to go. So my suggestion is use the social media for your brands, not just when it's established, but during the entire process, because it will lend you that trust and credibility which many brands miss. And of course, as I was mentioning earlier as well, you can use AI also, which is enabled in these social media platforms, to keep a tab as to how good your story is doing, how good your post is doing, how good your vlog is doing, how interactive and engaging can you be with the audience and the target market. And as earlier, one of the speakers was also mentioning, it's not like ek baar karke chhod diya. You have to be consistent. You have to be relevant throughout, especially during the bad times. Especially when your business or your idea is not doing well. My suggestion, do not hide away from your customers, because that is what will lend the trust and credibility. That it's not, we let's not become king of only good times. Let's become king of all times. Let's gain that trust and authenticity and credibility perception from the target audience by being consistently there with our audiences. So I suggest that, yeah, it's tough. Yes, it's mind-boggling. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's new. Yes, it's a lot to take. But let's take step by step. And I'm sure all of us over here, all the entrepreneur students, all the startup guys, all the people, bright minds with budding ideas, I'm sure you can take this step for your own passion, for your own dream, for your own idea. If you can think about that idea and think about getting to this world, I'm sure you will do wonders with marketing and brand communication as well. Thank you so much. You guys have been a wonderful audience and very patiently listening to me. Any thoughts, any ideas, any comments? Would love to take that up. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, over to you guys.
Thank you, Ms. Deepa, for the wonderful speech and sharing your insights with us. Apologize, we're running short of time. We won't be able to take questions.
No issues.
Yes. So please do share your email address in the chat box. If any of our attendees would like to connect with her, or do you have any questions, please do reach out to her.
Sure.
We'd like to express sincere gratitude to all of the speakers for their valuable contributions and insights during this conference. Your expertise and knowledge have undoubtedly enriched our understanding of the subject matter. Now, moving ahead, I would like to invite all of the attendees to participate in a voting process. Please take a moment to type the name of your preferred guest speaker for today in the chat box. Anybody who you felt you relate with, or you felt their views were exciting or interesting, you can just type out their name in the chat box.
Fast for everyone. And as usual, a disclaimer here. This voting process is not for evaluating speakers, but rather to increase engagement rates. Now, confidence as additional disclaimer. Sure. Everyone, we have 20 attendees there. We can expect 20 votes on chat box at least. The registration form shall be shared in the chat box in 2 to 3 minutes, and it shall also be shared in all the groups.
Okay. So the top 3 speakers of Conference 2.0 will be declared in the group. Now, moving ahead, we are excited to announce that our next conference will be held in August on the topic of unleashing the power of narrative, how storytelling transforms customer engagement and drives business outcomes. So our next conference is dedicated to exploring the impact of storytelling on businesses, particularly in terms of customer engagement and overall success. So we hope to see you all there and engage in insightful discussions again. Thank you, and we look forward to reconnect with you again in August. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Attendees, please.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.